One more round of applause.
Here we are at FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson University, Madison campus. One of the most beautiful campuses I've ever seen, and a very warm environment for kids to go to college. And the warmth and generosity for Opera Florham is really appreciated. I missed bringing my mom here for the operas, and that was a wonderful time. Didn't last long enough, but it is what it is. She made it to 100 years old, and loved the association she had with so many wonderful people. So I thank all her friends, the family that supported her in her endeavor, her love of opera, and so it kind of lives on. I think the music affects me more emotionally than it did when I was a kid and I was dragged to the Metropolitan Opera House or other opera houses to see the operas. But I'm glad I had that time with my mother and doing something that she really enjoyed and gave to and was respected for. So here's to you, Mama. I miss you. I miss you. We'll see you someday. Along with Grandma, Grandpa, Laura, and everybody else, and Dad, and even my son Richard. Anyhow, love you.
Irresistible. And thank you for that delightful rendering. On to Verdi now, and Leonora's great entrance aria from Act 1 of Il Trovatore, which is, of course, one of Verdi's most celebrated arias. The opening portion of the aria begins with a lovely quintessential Verdian theme that blossoms and rises, moving with mind and fancy Leonora. To close, a few thoughts of mine, in that I would say that music for the voice has really inspiring its extravagantly more than just when you thought it would run its course with my things I suppose like achieving another swearing or rather century. Technology such as radio, gramophone records, and the movies opened up entertainment to masses in an unprecedented way, and caused, as you've heard, cross-fertilization, if you like, of the fine arts with the popular idiom. Thus, of course, was born this wonderful, great American songbook. To close the program tonight, let's close with one of the most enduring gems of that glorious tradition. To be frank, one of my favorite Broadway songs is by Jerome Kern, and it's called All the Things You Are. Enjoy. where we start to kind of chill out a little, as the Americans say, and relax into slightly more lighter, equally wonderful fare. And I'm always puzzled to a certain extent how our wonderful classically trained singers make that leap from very formal, formidable classical arias to
in your voice, but really in terms of technique and,
my goodness, it has absolutely everything in that
that is all similar, excuse me, but it's more about character, I think, and responding to the words.
The French Revolution, my goodness, what an event. Thank you, please tell us. Thank you. So many, that man of yours. Both in the plastic art and the performing art, it was such an iconic moment in the history of mankind. There are a number of very rare opera by the Suffice to say, André Chenier, the opera by Giordano, that iconic verismo composer, wrote his famed opera about this very subject. And I'd like to bring to the stage my dear friend and colleague, Louis Gautier, to the stage. Please welcome him. And I hope you agree that it's much more fun than listening to a rambling conductor talk about when the composer was born and when he ate his lunch. It's much more exciting to maybe learn a little about the soloists and their interaction with the piece of music. Louis, why don't you set us up with the role you play in this wonderful opera and essentially what you're expressing at this very moment. I know it's a moment where you are torn between you fighting for the French Revolution, but also a love that you have that it all actually is the lady herself is committed to someone else. But why don't you set it up for us?
All right. This gentleman Gerard was a servant in one of the noble houses in France. His father was a servant, but when the revolution came, he became one of the leaders of the revolution. And he was a man of great ideals and was always thinking about fairness. But now he has to write a trumped-up charge against the man who is the favorite of a woman he is in love with. In fact, in the household when he was a servant, he grew up loving the young girl that grew up basically